The marriage truth nobody tells you until it's almost too late. I need to tell you something right now before you scroll past this. My name's Harold, and sitting here next to me is Denise. We've been married 6 decades. And what I'm about to share, I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders on my wedding day and forced me to listen. Because these aren't cute tips or sweet advice. These are the relationship killers that nearly destroyed us. You know what people see when they look at us? They see 60 years and assume we had some secret from day one. Wrong. Dead wrong. We stumbled through years where divorce felt inevitable. Years where we wondered if we even liked each other anymore. But we survived, and more importantly, we learned. And if you care about your relationship, or someone you love does, you need to hear what almost cost us everything. Let me start with the poison that crept in slowly. So slowly we didn't even notice until it had wrapped around our entire marriage. For 15 years, I kept a running tally in my head. Took out the trash? Check. Mowed the lawn every Saturday? Check. Fixed the leaky faucet? Changed the oil? Painted the garage? Check, check, check. And every single time Denise asked me to do something else, this voice in my head would whisper, "What about everything I already do?" I never said it out loud, but she felt it. That resentment sat between us like a third person at the dinner table. And Denise, she had her own ledger. Every meal cooked, every scrape knee bandaged, every midnight fever watch with our 3 kids, every single birthday remembered, every thank you card written, every household detail managed while I complained about being tired from work. She wanted to scream. Instead, she just added another tally mark to her mental scoreboard. Here's what nobody tells you. The scorekeeper mentality is a slow-acting poison because marriage isn't a business transaction. It's not about splitting everything 50-50 down to the last folded towel. Some seasons, one person carries a whole load. When I got injured back in '83 and couldn't work for 4 months, Denise worked double nursing shifts, came home to take care of me and the kids, held everything together. I couldn't keep score then. I was too busy being grateful. And years later, when she faced her own health battles, I did the same for her. But we wasted decades before that, measuring and comparing, building walls of resentment over who sacrificed more. The wake-up call came from our daughter. She was about 30, going through her own marriage struggles, and she looked at us and asked, "Mom, do you and Dad even like each other?" That question hit like a punch to the gut because we loved each other. I truly believe that. But somewhere along the way, we become so obsessed with fairness that we forgot to be partners. We stopped counting after that conversation. Not overnight, but gradually. And everything changed. Now here's where it gets interesting, because our second massive mistake was the opposite problem. Denise is a planner. Always has been. She makes lists for her lists. She needs to know what's happening 3 weeks from Tuesday at 2:47 p.m. Me, I'm the guy who says, let's just see what happens. And for years, decades really, we fought about this like it was a character flaw we could fix in each other. She'd get upset that I wouldn't commit to plans. I'd get frustrated that she couldn't just relax and live in the moment. "Why can't you just be more organized?" she'd say. "Why can't you just loosen up?" I'd fire back. We were trying to turn each other into completely different people. And here's the truth. It doesn't work. It just makes both people feel broken and misunderstood. The shift happened when we finally accepted something crucial. Denise's planning isn't a flaw. It's how she finds security in a chaotic world. My spontaneity is an irresponsibility. It's how I experience joy. We weren't broken. We were different. And those differences could actually work together. Now, Denise handles our big trips, manages our finances, keeps our calendar. I surprise her with spontaneous day trips, unexpected flowers, little moments of magic she didn't schedule. We complement each other instead of fighting each other. Turns out a planner and a spontaneous person make a pretty good team when they stop trying to change each other. But even with those lessons learned, we still had a ticking time bomb we didn't know about. Denise is guilty of this one. Her words, not mine. She let things build up, small frustrations, little hurts, tiny annoyances. She wouldn't say anything because she didn't want to start a fight. It's not worth it, she'd think. Just let it go. But here's the thing about letting things go. They don't actually go anywhere. They just pile up inside you like pressure in a sealed container until something tiny, something ridiculous, sets off an explosion. I remember this one time in the early 2000s. Denise absolutely lost it because I forgot to pick up milk. Just milk. 1 gallon. And suddenly she's yelling about how I never listen, how I always forget things, how nothing she says matters. I'm standing there completely baffled, thinking, this is about milk? But it wasn't about milk. It was about 6 months of feeling unheard, feeling invisible, feeling like her needs didn't matter. The milk was just the final straw. If she told me earlier, calmly, hey, when you forget things I asked you to do, it makes me feel like you don't value my time, we could have actually talked about it. Instead, silence built into an explosion. And explosions don't solve anything. They just leave debris. We learned to speak up earlier. Not aggressively, but honestly. This bothered me. Can we talk about it? It feels awkward at first. You worry you're being petty or starting unnecessary conflict. But it's so much better than the alternative. Difficult conversations don't have to be fights. They can be just conversations. And that brings me to the mistake that scared me the most, because we didn't even realize it was happening. After about 25 years together, we fell into autopilot mode. We knew each other inside and out. We'd survived raising 3 kids, money problems, health scares. We just assumed our relationship would sustain itself now. We stopped dating each other. We stopped really talking beyond logistics. Who's getting groceries? What time is a dentist? Did you pay the electric bill? We became roommates who occasionally slept together. The terrifying part? It happened so gradually we didn't notice. There was no single moment where we decided to stop trying. Romance didn't die in a dramatic fight. It just quietly faded while we weren't paying attention. The curiosity about each other, the effort, the spark, all of it slowly dimmed until we were just comfortable. And comfortable became complacent. What woke us up was watching our friends divorce after 38 years of marriage. Everyone was shocked because they seemed fine. But his wife told Denise later, they were fine, just fine. Not happy, not connected, not thriving, just existing next to each other. And one day she realized she didn't want to spend her remaining years just existing. That terrified us. Were we heading down the same path? So we made changes. We started eating dinner together at the actual table instead of in front of the TV. We started asking each other real questions again, not how was your day, but what are you actually thinking about? What made you happy this week? What's weighing on you? We started taking evening walks together, just 20 minutes, but it was time that belonged to us, and we brought back date nights. Nothing fancy. Sometimes it's just driving to get ice cream and sitting in the car talking. Sometimes it's playing cards at the kitchen table. But it's intentional time where we focus on each other, on us, not on tasks or obligations. Your marriage needs attention. It needs care. It won't thrive if you ignore it, no matter how many years you've been together. Now, the final mistake. This one might be the most important. When we'd argue, especially during those middle years, it felt like we were opponents in a boxing ring. Each of us trying to win, trying to prove we were right and the other person was wrong. Every disagreement became a battle with winners and losers. But here's what we learned the hard way. If one person wins and one person loses, you both lose. Because you're supposed to be partners moving through life together, not competitors trying to defeat each other. The turning point came when our middle son hit rock bottom. He'd lost his job. His marriage was falling apart. And at 40 years old, he moved back home with us. He was broken. Denise and I had completely different ideas about how to help him, but we couldn't fight about it. This was our son. So we talked, really talked. We listened to each other. We compromised. And helping our son reminded us of something crucial. We're a team, not Harold versus Denise. Harold and Denise together, facing whatever life throws at us. Every problem, every decision, every challenge, we tackle it together. We can disagree, sure, but as teammates who want the same outcome, not as enemies. When you remember you're on the same team, everything changes. You stop trying to hurt each other with your words. You start saying, help me understand your perspective instead of you're wrong. You look for solutions instead of looking for ways to prove your point. Listen, we're not perfect. Even now, after 60 years, we still mess up. We still get frustrated. I still forget things. Denise still overplans. We still have moments where we fall back into old patterns. But we know what we're doing now. We catch ourselves. We correct course. We choose each other every single day. If I could go back and grab my younger self by the collar on my wedding day, I'd tell him these 5 things. Stop keeping score. Accept who she is. Say the hard things before they explode. Never stop dating your wife. And remember, always, that you're on the same team. 60 years is a long time. We've buried friends, raised children, survived losses, celebrated victories. We've changed so much from who we were back in 1964. But we changed together, and that's made all the difference. We're not going to be here forever. But while we are, we want to pass on what we know. Maybe it'll save you some pain. Maybe it'll help your relationship be stronger. Drop a comment and tell us which mistake hit home for you. And if you got questions about marriage, life, mistakes, anything, ask us. We'd love to help however we can. Thanks for listening. Now go call your person and tell them something real.